Okay, Leo. The game changer, is he still around? No, the game changer has left. But the infant terrible of the Nigerian Governors Club, hate him, love him, but you can't ignore him. Nasir El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, and the pious-speaking leader of the Concoursia movement, Dr. Rabiu Musa Konkoso. When are we celebrating your 70th birthday? Because your friend just celebrated his own. My father, Joseph C.D.
Okay, you heard that from Kashim Shettima. What about you? Do you think that Nasir El-Rufai is a game changer, as said by Kashim Shettima? For me, I say things the way they are, and it's not what I say the way I say it. It's not I'm your side or I'm not your side. I always say people I'm not on anybody's side. I try to be on the side of truth, equity, and justice, and I'm not even on my own side. And indeed, for me personally, I agree with Kashim Shettima. Nasir El-Rufai is a game changer. Whenever he puts his head in, he is someone that is going to do it to the end and do whatever. But he has a lot of his failings, you understand. As a technocrat, he is amazing. You will give him that. But as a leader, nah, he's terrible. Absolutely. And leadership is about managing people. It's about making everybody feel included, feel seen, you understand, feel validated. As a leader, if you go into the asset where you're looking at people that you're leading as people you're supposed to be fighting, then sorry, you don't have those leadership qualities that are going to take you to where you are going to take you. And I would say for in the last election, the 2023 election, Nasir El-Rufai was instrumental in bringing in Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the illegitimate president of Nigeria. Even though they didn't win the election, they did everything. They rigged the election and they got themselves, sworn in. He got himself sworn in. But Nasir El-Rufai was very instrumental. You saw that whole position when CBN refused, the printing of money, the new printing of money. There was no cash in the around, and how I think Nasir El-Rufai was one of those who led that whole going to the courts all the way to the Supreme Court, and then ensuring that we now have two different notes that we are using in Nigeria. You have to, sometimes I'm confused by those notes. You have the old notes, you have the new notes, going on. And so these are some of the fights that he do. And Nasir El-Rufai is that one person that will say anything, whether it's the truth or it's not the truth, he's going to say it. We open his mouth and call anybody anyhow. And tomorrow again, you will see him on the other side. He's almost like Adam Soshomore. Yes. If he's selling you, he can use anything to sell you. And then when he wants to demarket, that same you that he sold before, he can use anything to demarket you. There are people who have those skills and there are people who don't have those skills. I will look at myself as one who does not have those skills, because I don't understand the same mouth that I demarketed you and then I'm coming to say market you. So for me, it's not about marketing for marketing's sake or demarketing for demarketing's sake. It has to be the truth before it's said. I mean, like with an El-Rufai, I've always said, if you're talking about Abuja, even in the midst of, we've had our squabbles on social media and all of that, even in the midst of those quarrels, like if you're talking about Abuja today and like who is the person that has really built Abuja, you cannot take it away from Nasir El-Rufai. You cannot measure the development of Nigeria without measuring the development of the contribution of Nasir, El-Rufai. But in other ways, like when he was governor, Lord have mercy, the first time he was going in, a lot of us were motivated. He was going to be one that would do so well. If he's running for presidency, you're going to be all, after all, like, that's why sometimes when Nigerians are so disappointed, you can't even blame them, because a lot of time they've been so disappointed. People get into office and then they become something else. You're wondering, this all governor where you chop, now you see an icon, they enter your head like this, when they fight everybody, treat a certain section anyhow, call them out. I mean, you don't do that as a leader. You're supposed to make everybody feel wanted and everybody feel validated while you're there. And so many things, happened in the whole of that whole era. But one of the things for me that I'm going to talk about here is the fact that most times Tinubu is called to be master strategist. I'm still waiting to see those master strategy. I still can't get them, because the way and manner in which he went on and humiliated Nasir El-Rufai, oh Lord have mercy. Me, I just here drinking my hush smoothies. By the way, if you're in Abuja, go to Grand Square. In front of Grand Square, you see where they sell those hush smoothies. Please go and patronize and thank me later. Thank me later. Anytime you come to Abuja, make sure you go to Grand Square and buy your hush smoothie drink. And so, in thinking about, the way that Tinubu, treated Nasir El-Rufai now is bad. It's just like the way Atiku and PDP ended up treating Wike, that have turned that he has become this monster that he has become. It's the same thing with the way Tinubu have treated Nasir El-Rufai after all he did. And even when Nasir El-Rufai said he wasn't doing this for anything, he wasn't going to be part of any government, he just wanted to go and retire and be reading his book, go back to school and stuff like that. And you saw a Tinubu that will beg him publicly that he's not going to leave that place until he agrees to work with him. And then he comes in and El-Rufai is humiliated, because it was real massive humiliation. Although I love the humiliation anyway. It was really massive humiliation, you understand? Seeing him, him being going to the National Assembly, and then National Assembly saying they were not going to take him. And this is National Assembly that you literally know they're under the foot of Tinubu. Even if, let's say, genuinely the National Assembly said they were not going to take him, you could have found him a position where you didn't need to go to National Assembly. You could even make him your chief of staff, or any of those things that you didn't need to go. Bring him closer, give him something really tangible. But no, he didn't. He just allowed him, and the guy was there. Even in his humiliation, you now kept going after getting the governor that he had put him to now begin to treat him anyhow. Of course, you're going to have that person coming back to fight you. And someone like Nasir El-Rufai that is not very vindictive, it was only a matter of time before all of that, would go on. But hey, it's one of those things. But I would personally say I do agree with the Kashim Shettima that indeed Nasir El-Rufai is one person who is a game changer, because he's one person who is not afraid of doing things, and he will give his all. And like I say, for me, this is what I think on this fight against Tinubu. If there's, even if it will mean that he will give up his life for him to ensure that Bola Ahmed Tinubu doesn't get elected, Nasir El-Rufai is the kind of person that will do that. And hey, if you have someone with that kind of anger, use it. You're not friends. You all know you're not friends, but you have a common enemy.